The audacity was palpable, like a slap you didn't see coming. HOA Karen, the self-appointed queen of Willow Creek's HOA, had just set my DoorDash order ablaze, cackling as if she'd won some twisted moral victory. It was a muggy Friday evening, the kind where the air clung to your skin like regret. I'd ordered Thai food pad CEW and mango sticky rice after a brutal week at the office. My apartment complex, Willow Creek, was usually quiet, but tonight, the street buzzed with tension. I'd seen HOA Karen before, waddling around with her clipboard, her beady eyes scanning for infractions like a hawk hunting mice. She was the kind of woman who'd fine you for a flower pot an inch too wide, her bloated ego matched only by her garish wardrobe. Her sister, Min Karen, was her loyal sidekick, always trailing behind, echoing her complaints like a parrot with a vendetta. Together, they were the HOA's reign of terror, and tonight, they'd picked the wrong fight. I was on my balcony, sipping a lukewarm beer, when I heard the commotion. No deliveries allowed. HOA Karen's voice screeched, sharp enough to curdle milk. I leaned over the railing and saw her, all 300 pounds of her, looming over a scrawny delivery driver named Jay. He was barely 20, his bike propped against a lamppost, holding a crumpled DoorDash bag. Min Karen stood beside her sister, arms crossed, smirking like she'd just caught a thief. Jay looked panicked, his phone shaking in his hand as he tried to explain. "Ma'am, it's just food. The order was placed to this address. Rules are rules." HOA Karen snapped, snatching the bag from his hands. "This community doesn't tolerate riffraff clogging our streets with your greasy bags." She waved the bag like it was evidence of a crime, her floral dress flapping in the evening breeze. Min Karen nodded vigorously, adding, "We voted on this. No deliveries after 6 p.m. I checked my phone 6:03 p.m. Ridiculous. I hadn't seen any vote, and I'd lived here for 2 years. The Karens were making it up, flexing their power like petty dictators. I grabbed my keys and headed downstairs, my stomach growling and my patience thinner than the pad CEW noodles I'd been craving. By the time I reached the street, things had escalated. A small crowd misses. Lopez from 3B and a guy walking his dog watched in stunned silence. Jay was pleading, his voice cracking. "Please, ma'am, I'm just doing my job. That's someone's dinner." HOA Karen, undeterred, pulled a lighter from her purse. A lighter? Who carries a lighter to confront a delivery driver? "We'll send a message," she hissed, flicking it on. The flame danced in her eyes, and I swear she looked gleeful, like a kid burning ants with a magnifying glass. Before anyone could react, she dropped the lighter onto the DoorDash bag, which she'd tossed onto the sidewalk. The paper caught instantly, flames licking up the plastic containers inside. The smell of burning curry and melted plastic hit the air, and Min Karen clapped like it was a fireworks show. "That's what you get," she yelled. Jay stumbled back, horrified, while Mrs. Lopez gasped and fumbled for her phone. I was frozen, my brain struggling to process the sheer insanity of it all. My dinner me $30 order was now a bonfire, and these two were celebrating like they'd just saved the neighborhood. I snapped out of it and stormed forward. "What the hell are you doing?" I shouted, my voice louder than I'd intended. HOA Karen whipped around, her jowls quivering with indignation. "Excuse me," she barked, stepping closer, her breath reeking of mints and malice. "This is HOA business. You don't get to question us." Min Karen chimed in, pointing a manicured nail at me. "You're probably the one who ordered this junk, disrespecting our rules." "Your rules?" I shot back. "Since when is burning someone's food a rule? You're out of your minds." The crowd murmured in agreement, and Jay, emboldened, started recording on his phone. HOA Karen's face twisted into a sneer. "Go ahead, film me. I'm protecting this community from people like you lazy, entitled leeches who can't even cook." That's when Mrs. Lopez stepped in, her voice calm but firm. "Hoa, you can't just set things on fire. That's illegal." She was already dialing 911, her hands steady despite the chaos. HOA Karen laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "Illegal? I'm the law here. You'll thank me when this place stays pristine." Min Karen nodded. but her eyes darted nervously. She wasn't as bold as her sister. The flames were dying down now, leaving a charred mess on the sidewalk. My stomach churned, not just from hunger, but from the audacity of these women. They weren't just bullies, they were dangerous, wielding their petty authority like a weapon. I could see it in Jay's face, too, the humiliation, the frustration. He was just a kid trying to make a living, and they'd turned his night into a nightmare. Sirens wailed in the distance, and HOA Karen's bravado faltered for a split second. Min Karen grabbed her arm, whispering, "Maybe we should go." But HOA wasn't having it. "I'm not scared of cops," she declared, planting herself like a monument to stubbornness. "They'll see I'm in the right." When the police arrived, the scene was a mess. The charred remains of my dinner smoked faintly. Jay was still recording, and Mrs. Lopez was calmly explaining everything to a stern-looking officer. I chimed in, recounting how HOA Karen had snatched the bag and set it ablaze without provocation. The officer, a no-nonsense woman named Torres, listened intently, her eyes narrowing as she glanced at the Karens. HOA Karen tried to spin her story, her voice dripping with fake innocence. "Officer, I was simply enforcing HOA regulations. These deliveries are a nuisance, and I was making a point." Min Karen nodded, but her confidence was crumbling. Officer Torres wasn't buying it. "Ma'am, you don't enforce anything by setting property on fire. That's arson." The word hit like a hammer. Arson. HOA Karen's face went pale, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Min Karen started babbling. "We didn't mean towel." She didn't mean to, but HOA shot her a glare that could have melted steel. "Shut up, Min," she hissed. Torres cuffed them both, reading their rights as the crowd watched in stunned silence. HOA Karen struggled, her floral dress catching on the patrol car's door as she yelled, "This is an outrage. I'm a respected member of this community." Min Karen, now sobbing, followed quietly, her head bowed. Jay, still shaken, thanked me quietly as he packed up his bike. "I didn't sign up for this," he muttered, and I felt a pang of guilt for him. As the police car pulled away, Mrs. Lopez put a hand on my shoulder. "They've been terrorizing this place for years," she said softly. "Maybe this'll teach them." I nodded, but I wasn't so sure. People like the Karens didn't learn easily. They thrived on their own righteousness, blind to the harm they caused. The next morning, the neighborhood buzzed with gossip. The Karens had been charged with arson and vandalism, and the HOA board was scrambling to distance itself from their actions. I got a refund from DoorDash and a free meal voucher, but it didn't erase the anger. It wasn't just about the food, it was about the entitlement, the cruelty, the way they'd humiliated Jay and thought they could get away with it. A week later, I saw a new sign posted by the HOA office, announcing an emergency meeting to revise the delivery rules. Rumor had it the Karens were facing hefty fines and possible jail time. I didn't feel sorry for them. They'd built their own pyre, and now they were burning on it. Justice wasn't always poetic, but sometimes it came close. In the end, Willow Creek felt a little lighter, like a storm had passed. Jay started delivering again, and I made sure to tip him extra. Mrs. Lopez baked me a batch of empanadas, saying, "We take care of our own." And for the first time in a while, I felt like this place might actually be a community, not just a battleground for petty tyrants. The end.